The Conjuring Last Rites depicts the supposed final case of Ed and Lorraine Warren because it was so disturbing it forced them to quit. And briefly looking into the Smurl case, the Smurl family, who was the one that was haunted in Pennsylvania, just from the descriptions of Ed Warren himself, there really wasn't much to it. But it's Hollywood, so liberties are taken, and the movie is, this whole big thing. But at the same time, there's a lot to be desired. The movie itself is mostly about Ed, Lorraine, and Judy Warren, which is perfectly fine. Honestly, if the entire movie was just about them and just their lives, that would have been fine. And it wouldn't even have to be a horror movie, honestly. It just would have been just interesting to see them in the final stages of their life. And, Judy, growing up, getting married, having kids, blah, 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 blah. But the Smurl case is kind of like shoved in there. And it kind of interrupts everything. We're shown right away of an early case of the Warrens when Judy is born, this big black mirror that's apparently cursed and haunted and all that. And it comes full circle, and that's what's involved here with the Smurl case. Whether it was in real life, doesn't really seem so. But it is revealed that there are 3 spirits, and those 3 spirits are being directed, controlled by a demonic force. 2 of those spirits, we're told who they are. Lorraine's able to be like, okay, this is this one, but then there's another one that is not at all explained. 2 of them, very creepy, one of which is the one that's not explained, but it's only really brief glimpses of that one. But the other one, which is teased in the trailer, the big dude with the axe, genuinely creepy. And the guy who plays them, very, very good. He busts out a very creepy laugh. It was very well done. But, like, the ghosts themselves, the spirits, they're just kind of there. We're never shown the demonic spirit. We're never shown the demonic force. Like, we don't know who this demonic force actually is. Now, Last Rites does have its moments. There are a few decent jump scares that will get you. There was one that got me. There's multiple that have gotten people through, in the theater that I was in. But in terms of just scary, it's not that effective. After seeing it, getting out of the theater, I'm thinking, maybe C range. But now that I've slept on it and I've thought about it a little bit, it's like, it's not a C range, it's lower. It's not an F by any means. The performances of Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, Mia Tomlinson, all very strong, all great. The chemistry over the years that Wilson and Farmiga have developed is just unstoppable. They are phenomenal together. They are great as the Warrens. And Tomlinson, who shows up as a grown-up Judy, their daughter, she puts in a fantastic performance, and this is only her 3rd movie. It's like, this girl is going places. But the problem is the story. And the many liberties they take with it. Honestly, if they adapted it like how it actually seems like when you read about the case online, it would have been I think it would have been a better movie. It wouldn't have been scary. It probably would barely classify as a horror movie, but it would make for a good, serious drama. The one thing I did notice in the movie for the Smurl case, the Smurl house, was there is a lot of black mold in that house. And prolonged exposure to black mold. There is an element of fungus inside of black mold that that can cause hallucinations. And that is one of the many controversies with the Warrens, is that it's just people who are having hallucinations, people who are mentally ill, and the Warrens may or may not have taken advantage of these affected people. and made a career out of that. There were no demons, there were no ghosts, there were no spirits. It was just people who were mentally ill, who were having hallucinations of some kind, and they took advantage of that to get into the limelight. Is that true? I don't know. And, I mean, the only people that really know are the Warrens themselves, who are now both deceased. You know, even Lorraine was the last to pass, 2019, so not too long ago. And, you know, she still, to that day, vowed she was a clairvoyant and she could see things. So maybe she herself was mentally ill. I don't know. I would like to think that at least most of it was real. You know, they've done thousands of cases, and in those thousands, a few of them had to be real. But basically what I'm getting at is I kind of like I don't know if it was necessarily intentional, but like it feels like it was, the inclusion of black mold all over the house to kind of give the illusion that maybe this isn't actually real. Maybe they're just manifesting this through hallucinations. So it's entirely possible. The Smurl case, absolute BS. But at the same time, could be real. We don't know. Definitely not like how it was portrayed in the movie. Because again, if you read about the actual case online, they took so many liberties in this movie. But in general, The Conjuring Last Rites, not much is explained. You know, it focuses, I feel like, too much on one thing and not on the case itself. And it takes way too many liberties with the case. And like Judy has a big presence in the movie, and I don't see her mentioned at all in any of the things I've read about the Smurl case. So it's like, what's the point other than for dramatic effect? But because Last Rites is well acted and the special effects are actually pretty good, I'm going to give The Conjuring Last Rites a D+. Thanks for watching this episode of Fatman Inc Horror. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and to see more horror reviews as Fatman Inc Horror begins to take shape. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.